Okay, okay, I think we're all set. Do I have... Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, where... Yep, my audio seems to be working. Good, good, good. Okay, alright. Hey, chat, let's get going. Howdy, Xavier, Addiction, my cat ate... Wow! I jumped the wrong way because I wasn't looking! Well, it's a Loki stream, alright. My cat ate a roach. You should get that checked out, Nardi. Hey, I am... We're starting this on the right foot. Where the hell am I? Oh. Right. Where did I... Oh, no, I died here. For a second, for some reason, I thought I was at the other cliff by the village. Hey, Elders, where are you addicted to? The drink they called lean. No, I'm addicted to Elden Ring. How many streams have I done this week? They're casual streams, I admit. But still, I've been streaming this game that I really should be beating already. But I'm so addicted to memes, too. Anyway, chat, I did some marks right before the stream because I noticed something. Did you pick up on it? What exactly I saw? Go on, I'll give you guys a minute. First minute of Loki playing instant suicide. I just keep on hilariously falling to my death. I'm live at the airport and I saw I saw a plane. Ah, I see. So I have a question. Hey, Platty, how much do you expect the lore to change from now when the to when the DLC release? Just additions or paradigm changes? I don't expect paradigm changes, no. As I've done work in Bloodborne, I found that a lot of Bloodborne's lore never really changed, as I think is a common impression in the community. It mostly just got added onto and holes filled in, basically. And the same can be said for, like, Dark Souls 1. The lore didn't really change. Like, the only really truly new addition, at least of plot relevance, was Manus himself. But the rest of the stuff involving Ulasil was all there if you did the really deep dive in the base game, right? And originally, the Ulasil questline, Miyazaki basically admitted before the DLC was even greenlit that it was a cut quest idea for Ulasil, right? So it was basically already something factored into the base game already, for sure. And then you got, what's it called? Dark Souls 2. We know Dark Souls 2 changed with DLC. Like, the lead developer basically admitted that there were, like, as soon as, like, they were working on the Sunken King DLC, it pretty much immediately changed from from the original concept, which was like, okay, Shulva's gonna be, like, this relatively, like, recent kingdom, and, like, the whole being completely corrupted and destroyed by, like, sin, and then it ended up being the complete opposite, right? It's a very old kingdom. It predates a lot of the other kingdoms and stuff. Alana's been around way before Nashandra was even a thing. Again, the original plan was for Nashandra. We see this in, like, the lore of the Nashandra pre-Scholar, right? So all that's true. And then Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is a bit harder to tell. We know that there were at least plans for, like, basic ideas for that from, like, internal cut stuff or whatever. But it seems like at least stuff like aspects of Ariandel and Ring City were already kind of baked into the cake, as it were. But there definitely were things that seem to have been changed or shifted, like stuff with Frida and stuff. It doesn't, the new lore with the Ariandel DLC with Frida doesn't quite jive up with how the item description for Yuria and her two sisters carrying on the Londor's legacy would sort of, work out, right? It's like, oh, well, she's abandoned Londor. I don't think she's gonna do that like you think, Mr. Miyazaki in this item description circa pre-DLC, so, yeah. Anyway, Yaham, shame. Loki, please, my mom is ill, and the only way to cure her is for you to say ooh in the mic. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. There, happy. I gave you 3. Tell your mom she better get better. Dolph, you want a picture of an airport? The lore and stuff did change in Elden Ring. Nope. Nope, not really. It's pretty much the same. The only thing that was added onto was that Lawrence is now cursed in the Hunter's Nightmare. That didn't really change anything in the base game. And you can just read my analysis and you'll see I don't even mention the DLC that much when talking about the Lawrence stuff. It's really just a non-factor. because the timeline stuff in the original game only works with the same conclusions that the DLC provides more direct evidence for. So it all worked out. You checked the wells. I couldn't. But did you want to see what I was talking about by looking at the wells that did have the different torches? Yeah, we could look at that today. Anyway, I've given you guys enough time. No one's really answering, so it's the trees, chat. It's these like pine trees or whatever they are. I'm not a tree person. But these trees. So Limgrave is all basically golden trees. There's like some small bushes and smaller trees and shrubs and stuff like we see here. But it's basically the entire area is these bright golden trees as far as you can see, right? We'll say yellow trees because they're not like as gold as say what we find necessarily on Altus. But basically everything is this big yellow tree, and that's the whole landscape. Except, as soon as you start here, and then cover everything up to here, here, all the way down here too, so all of this, basically all of North Liurnia and West Liurnia, down to the Caria place, have these pine trees. I found that very interesting. You can't really see it because stupid Liurnia missed. But it's very interesting, especially when you compare it to, say, like, Limgrave, where it's like, okay, it's all gold. Except... Oh. The golden trees look like aspens, kinda. Yeah, maybe there's some significance to the specific type of trees that are in each area. I don't know. But the thing that this reminded me of when I was looking at these, because I'm like, wait, where else have I seen those? Because I thought they were more prevalent, but I'm like, no, wait a second. They're like all the way through Liurnia, and I know they're like basically all of Limgrave. And I was like, ah, I realized. It's here. In Weeping Peninsula. But specifically, not just anywhere in Weeping Peninsula, as you can see, it's specifically this area. About here, the demi-human forest, up until like here-ish, and of course the entire village that is also part of the demi-human forest, as we can see from all the trees shown here. So yeah, all the right here, there's a concentration of these pine trees that we otherwise see in Liurnian areas concentrated with sorcerers. Trees, apos. You're a bayou, right? You can't know trees except mangroves. Jeez, I'm having a stroke. Are you okay there, elders? Can the trees T-pose? Caelid has dead conifers. Yeah, though that might be a little harder to figure out because of the use of the rot assets. So it's hard to say how much of those is because of rot and how much of those are because of natural Caelid fields. It could be, though, because let's assume that those were the type of trees that were here before Caelid got ratified. That would work with the presence of sorcerers and stuff here. So we have basically a bunch of sorcerers that are concentrated in Liurnia, bringing their trees to other areas they settle. I think it's the planes and the 5G towers. Better be careful. Don't want those 5G towers to, like, melt your brain or something. Wear your tinfoil hat for protection. But yeah, fascinating. This kind of reinforced the idea that the demi-human forest ruins were settled by sorcerers. Because we already have the Crystal Burst sorcery that the demi-human queen here drops. And that's a text, right? Because we can pick it up and learn it. So seems like something that she might have looted from the ruins. I'm assuming that this place is ruins because the demi-humans moved in and ransacked the place. That's my assumption. We also have from Earthbore Cave the Spelldrake Talisman, which suggests when the Banished Knights were moving in and taking over this settlement, they at least they fully expected they were at least having to defend against magic and sorcery and stuff. So it's like, okay. So yeah, for some reason, a bunch of sorcerers came all the way down from Liurnia. Instead of going to Celia and the Summon Water and all that stuff here, instead went all the way south and moved here. Now, I don't know if the single tree we find in Limgrave here is because this settlement was established when the ancient civilization was still around, and these, like, bridges still existed, or something else. Like, again, this area is called a peninsula, so maybe the land was once connected, and then it moved? I don't know. Very curious, though. Can you look near Ordis's Rise? Ordis is here, right? What exactly am I looking for? Doesn't Forest of the Woodfolk have 2 different types of trees? I mean, both probably yellow, but if I recall, the forest has 2 types of trees. They might, but yeah, the Altus seems to be, if I recall correctly, all golden trees, yellow trees, maybe reddish trees in certain places. Or, like, orangey trees. Wait, what trees do we see underground? What do you mean by underground, Nardi? Oh, you mean, like, Sheepra and stuff? We see, like, big trees that almost look petrified. I don't know about the other trees, though. Nothing special that I'm seeing. Oh, yeah, you didn't get to check out the gray flowers at the Church Dragon and Farm Azula flowers. Yeah, we'll check those in a sec. Again, thanks for the reminder, Xavier's. Because I can tell you my brain is fried and I don't remember any of that. I went to sleep, and then I woke up and I was like, what am I doing today? Oh, right, work. And now I'm on break. Weird, the Rises have the conifers. This is true for all the towers. The towers seem to just basically be the sorcerers settling up their own tower in, like, these remote areas to do their own studies. For whatever reason, they have an interest here. I don't know, in this case it has to do with turtles or stuff, because we also get the turtle shield next to those ramparts. Actually, gotta wonder if Ordis was a sorcerer at these ruins. I guess that would make the most sense. Yeah, that would make the most sense. Because we only seem to have sorcerer towers where there be sorcerers there. I think the one exception would be Altus, but that's because Altus and, like, Liurnia have, like, a relationship going on, so... And Mirage Tower is, like, one of those converted towers where it seems like they're studying the gold, so... yeah. Albinoric, yeah. And then, of course, Heretical Rise, which could probably be connected to the Stargazer ruins. Anyway. It's morning in your time, right, Loki? It's midday. It's past midday right now, but yeah. It's basically still daytime for me. For you, I think it's evening, right? It's like about like 6:30 for you? 7:30? Or am I thinking of someone else? Alright, let's check Dragon Communion real quick. I want to check out these gray flowers. It's also a tower that goes invisible, yeah, that's true. Invisibility tower. Just disappears right before your eyes. Are these the flowers? No. They're like more pinkish or lavender. Oh. 7:20 p.m. Okay, good to know. Sorrel seems to have a significant role in sorcerer culture, judging by the neck meat and the talisman. They most likely don't eat them and revere them as wise beasts, at least in, are you talking about in Ordis's Rise, or are you talking about in Summon Water Village? I know Summon Water Village definitely, respects them and reveres them. Let me see. They're hard to see, but they're around the entrance. Gotcha. Oh, I see. You're right. It's the same flowers we've seen elsewhere, but they're recolored gray. It's kind of interesting how the gray ones are at the entrance, but the ones right next to it and inside the building are lavender. Like, it's kind of weird just seeing this. It's like, whoop, and whoop. What an odd detail. I'll check the cathedral real quick, see if there's... I doubt there is, right, because it's Caelid, but... No, in general, Kelowna's Rise, proves it. Let's see, that's Len. Ordis. There's the Fringe converted tower. This is cool. No, this is Testus. What an odd name. I guess it's... I have to check the Japanese again, but I assume that's probably a reference to test, because haha, sorcerers, tests, academy. Study hall entrance. Where's this other, right? Oh, is it here? Yeah, okay. Tortoises don't normally live at high altitudes. So you think because there's spirits that you can do there, that maybe there's, that you think that they were brought up there by the sorcerers, at least of Caria. Do we see turtles in, Altus and the mountaintops? I want to assume the mountaintops is a no, at least, but... Yeah, there ain't anything living growing here. Like, nothing flowery. Nope. Anything I want to see here? Not really. I was looking at stuff for LOLiurnian War, mostly. There, we got some giants, corpses around. Now, I think I've exhausted all the interesting stuff for Celia and stuff for now. Like I said, my thoughts on Farum right now are thinking, okay, Farum might actually only be like a strip of land like this. Though again, it still doesn't explain how it would connect to the larger, how this all would connect to that larger stuff, but that would make sense. And I still have problems with this tower, just on principle of how the hell were you supposed to get into this tower normally, but we'll just chalk that up to gameplay or some shit. No, nothing there. There's the Colosseum. No, there's a small army of living turtles surrounding Kelowna's rise, similar to some in Water's Turtle Tomb. Ah, I see! I did not remember that. Let's actually check that out real quickly, then. The gray flowers are inside the church. There's just less pink flowers at the entrance to distract you. Ah, I see. So they are inside. Okay. Yeah, just these pink or lavender. Again, I'm colorblind, so forgive me for not being totally accurate there. But whatever those flowers are in the church. Yeah, I was like, lavender, pink, whatever these are. They're everywhere. Okay, there are gray flowers. So we have a turtle there. We have a turtle there. We have a turtle there. Ah, okay, I'm seeing it now. There's a bunch of turtles. And this sorcerer brought the turtles. I think there's some turtles that are just wandering around too, right? I killed the dragons here, right? So we can't really check them. If I recall correctly, they were magic dragons? Yes? Did they have glintstone embedded in them, or were they just like generic flying dragons, but they shot sorcery? We have Crystallians. Oh no, there's still a dragon up there. That's good. We got the three sisters. Okay, so Renala makes oaths with the Crystallians, Trolls, who became Enchanted Knights, Dragons, which I assume became these dragons, and maybe whatever dragon is here. We know that this dragon here eats a lot of sorcerers and stuff, which seems odd when Renala obviously makes oath-sworn friends with sorcerers. Though, to be fair, we do know that Ronnie had to tame one dragon as well to become her knight, right? So it's possible that there are still wild ones out there. Alright, buddy, I want to look at you real quick. Okay, yeah, you got Glintstone. Can you, like, shoot some sorcery for me real quick? Yeah, there we go. Wait, these guys become this way from eating sorcerers. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Well, I think I might know why these are in ruins. Whoops. I think I know why the nobles are in the Moonfolk ruins. And why there are resentful, vengeful spirits for, bell ringers to summon, or at least to have the... Revenant, king things. Royal Revenants, whatever they're called. Yes, yep. The middle sister had a smithing stone and is one higher than the others, if I recall correctly. Oh. Let's go back and check that out then after I go back down here. I'm pretty sure there's, let me see. So I think Renala made oaths with the dragons, but then they reneged on those oaths when she was probably captured. Maybe seeing betrayal from Karya. Yeah, okay, yeah, they get something. We got ourselves some cursed spirits that are very resentful over getting killed. Ow. Alright, we're out of here. Hello. Beam of blue light. Is cannibalism legal for, dragons in ER? I don't know. Do dragons have a legal code? I mean, I assume they have a general aversion to it. So I imagine it might be taboo for dragons, but they don't seem to have a problem with humans, eating their hearts. But I guess that could be like, hey, our dragon buddy here is already dead. May as well make use of the body, right? Become another dragon. Listen, I don't want to deal with you. Man, I miss the good old days. There we go. The good old days when I had graves to fall upon. Okay, here we go. It is at a slightly higher elevation than the others, but that could just be because of the way the map is laid out with the topography. The actual stand doesn't look particularly large. We do know that there's a red wolf of Radigan that guards this area, though, so at the very least it seems to be sacred. I wonder if these are monuments that were established by Renala for the three sisters that she was training? Maybe this was their training ground? We know that Renala apparently took Rani by the hand into the quote-unquote forest. Right? And these are trees for a forest. Also, yes, Nardi, just like you said, there are the same, No, we're looking for underground. Sorry, I got myself mixed up. I thought we were thinking, Sorry, had a brain fart there. It's like, no, wait. We're talking about underground. Yeah, we'll go to Shifra next. Can that big Travian Kaled T-pose? That's the real important question. You are obsessed with T-posing, huh? I am. Do you really want to see if anyone can match Gwyn in a T-posing contest? I'm sorry, but that one Dead Space NPC is the only guy who can truly be Gwyn's equal. You're good. Alrighty. Glintstone is like MSG for dragons, makes sorcerers taste extra good. Could explain why Manus Celis is in shambles. That could, but it could also be all the stars that have fallen for Manus Celis, right? Because there's like, what, like a billion or whatever falling star shards or whatever, so that could also explain it. But yeah, dragons could also be the explanation. We know that's been broken like this for a decent while, because there's clearly been trees and stuff growing here. But then again, this could easily be explained by just the events of the shattering and the aftermath and all that. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else. Alright, let's check Shifa real quick. I need to see if the magic flame in the rises is similar to the hues in one of the Eternal Cities. Looks like yellow trees for land, at least. Ow! So we have the same yellow trees on the land. Yeah. We don't have, unlike Liurnia, we don't have really any trees in the water to compare. I'm still stumped on why the Academy uses regular candles. That is definitely odd. Like, why bother if you're so big on using magic for, like, catacombs and shit? Does this count yet? Yeah, this counts as in water. Yeah, so it's the same as in Limgrave. Limgrave Murkwater River also has these golden trees in the water. So it's only Liurnia's waters which turn the trees green. Only got those groves. How do you have eyes? You're blind. You're a mouth. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm very bothered by this. I switched target last minute like an idiot. Oh. Yeah, nothing else secret back here. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, that's just the same stuff as always, so. Another waterfall. Ah, I forget how to get here easily, so. The wolves on the Moonlight Altar and here in the Eternal Cities don't use the red gold sword, which apparently does physical damage, not holy or magic. Okay, so they don't use the red gold sword. Wait, so they don't have any sword at all, is what you're saying, essentially, right? They're basically swordless. They just use sorcery. And the sword itself does physical damage, not holy or magic. Huh. Huh. Wolves created through the Crucible, maybe? Or affected by the Crucible? But why the magic? But why the physical damage on the sword? I guess it could be an oversight, but... I don't know. Dog, don't go knocking. So this leads down to the bottom. There's a corpse with Marika's Scar Seal. We follow up the aqueduct from Marika's Scar Seal, which again, you could use to indicate as a hint that, oh, whether the corpse came with it or not, this eye flowed downstream through the aqueduct to that waterfall at the bottom. So we fall up, go here. We head here, and then we encounter gargoyles, another odd detail connected to America. Right? And then we head up the big waterfall there, so we can end up here. Right? Loki, they do have conifers in Shifra. Where exactly? I didn't see them. At least not the one... I'm assuming conifers is referring to the same tree that we saw in Liurnia / Demi-Human Forest. Loki, Lamau. Loki's killing Nari. Sorry, reading chat. Loki, they have pine trees in Shifra. How did I miss this? Oh, sorry. Apparently I wasn't paying attention. I did not see them. So we get up here. Okay, so that's so. Okay, we're going back to Shifra then. Where did I miss them? So the gargoyles were stationed by America to guard the coffin elevator? No, Platty, I don't think that was the case. Keep in mind, we go to, again, what I'm trying to highlight here is going through my thought process. We have I indicating someone who is cursed by America, right? They received the scar seal, right? They've had America's, I don't know, we'll say seal, sign etched into their eyeball, their golden eyeballs, right? We follow up the aqueduct, and we go to here. Again, we find gargoyles right before the waterfall that we then take up. So we find the eyeball, we find the gargoyles, we come up to here, we find the Nameless Eternal City, where there are broken gargoyles and Elden stars and stuff like that, and of course it's right next to there. So it's sort of hinting at the idea that it's sort of helping connect the dots of, oh, this all flowed because this stuff is the source of these two rivers, right? This area here. So it's like, okay, these waterfalls and stuff are carrying the eyeball, the gargoyles are coming from there, and it's all following back. It all links back to this Nameless Eternal City, which is a Nox settlement, a Nox capital that is nonetheless with friendly relations with Langdell and America, and seems to have America visited. And my belief is that that's where America originated, that this was her hometown, basically. Then she went above, got Godfrey to help conquer the Sun Capital here, took the Erd Tree, and then established Langdell, and then we have the Nox Quarter here after building a connection point back to the Nameless Eternal City, and some migrated up here and settled in Langdell, becoming full converts to America's order. Oh, remember to check the elevator shafts here for the torches. Gotcha. We have this one right here, so that's good. They're more prevalent towards lower worshippers' woods. Gotcha. Ah, I see them. Okay, so they're here. Now, where does this stop? So it's not towards the upper half of the place. It's toward here. Okay, now I see him. So it starts around... just in case. About there. It's in Caelid. So it's in an area... It is in an area, or directly connected to an area, that sorcerers from Caelid might have come down to frequent. That could be the connection point. I'm hoarse. I was literally yelling at my phone. Don't do that, Nardi. It's not good for your health. Made sure to inspect every blade of grass. That ain't happening, John. I don't got time for every blade of grass. I don't have time for what I'm doing already. That's near the elevator lit by the blue candle, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so we have, here is the well, right? Loki, when he isn't looking at chat dies. I think I murdered Nardi unintentionally. Whoops. I don't think there's any, like, notable trees up there, right? It's just all blood shit. Alright. We have blue flames here, but this is like Nox candelabras and crap, so I expect that. I don't think there's any of these designs with the flowers and crap that we see with regular flames. Correct me if I'm wrong. Press ooh-woo to revive. Ooh-woo. Nardi, rest in peace. Okay, guys, let's all give Nardi a proper Erd Tree burial. Okay, we're going back up. Ah, there are some other torches. But those all look like regular Nox stuff. Kind of look like the color of this here, so. So yeah, I don't think that's connected to the pine trees, whatever they are, conifers. Kalid, deep Schiefer well. There aren't any trees here though. There is that ball of sorcerers down there, that way. Yeah, this has always been my problem with this area, is that it's just not easily accessible, so there's not a really good lore reason on how people are going to the arena regularly. But that's fine. We can always believe there was like a staircase or some shit here, and the crystal, like, I don't know, broke it, I guess. Oh. See what you make me do, Mr. Room Bear? The elevator on the other side has normal torches. Well, I'll have to go check that out now, too. Stake America, I guess? I revived myself out of spite for you saying I'd want an Erd Tree burial. Wait, what? Asshole. Alright, so we gotta check the other well. So we have normal torches. Ainsel River well was normal torches too, right? If I recall, when we went there, it was normal, like fire bowls and stuff that were being lit on the Nox stuff. Ow. Ow. Whatever, I looked at the sorcerer ball, I'm happy. God, I hate rune bears. Wait! This isn't the same breed of rune bear as the ones in the mountaintops, right? I don't remember this color. Aren't they normally more brown? Pretty sure the one up here is brown, right? Wait, I've never paid attention to that rune bear. Is that unique? No, they don't have a rune. Huh. But is it the same? Is it otherwise the same as the rune bears in the mountaintops? Just with a rune on its chest? Huh. Huh. Different bear, write that down! Write that down! Exactly, John. A different bear? Why in this gorge? Are you telling me the Giants brought everything with them to Farm Azula? They're like, hey, I brought my pet bear, and then they just let them run wild over here? Is that what I'm supposed to believe now, Miyazaki? These giants, they're just like, I'll bring our pet dogs, our pet crows, our pet room bears. That's the first sheep for river, so this will work. Nox creature. Let's see. Do 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 do. Oh, what's it? There we go. I eventually found my way. Alright, bring the wall back up, Scotty. Yep, that's how it did happen. I can confirm everyone has a pet. I'll be honest. I thought I was home free once I was inside. That's getting clipped. There we go. Hey Loki, I'm resting in bed, recovering health. Could you tell you? Oh, sorry. Could you tell your ill breath? Actually, first, let me just wish you. Sorry to hear that, Citrus. Citrus. Damn it, I forgot how we pronounce your name again. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better. I hope it's nothing terminal or anything. But assuming that you are okay, other than being ill, I hope you get better and that everything will be fine for you. Now, on to your question. What is human bone shard called in Japanese? Specifically to say if they're from humans. I recall. Let me double check this. Actually, I'll get this up while we're going down here. That was a little delayed, but okay. All right, chat. Tell me if you see any regular flame torches on the journey down while I do this for Citrus. I recall the human bone shard, because I remember someone else asking this question, and I think it was in relation to the human bone shards that are dropped by the Beastman skeletons up in Farm Azula. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so the term is, human bone, but there's one caveat. The kanji hito, can be used to refer to a person. Obviously, generally speaking, this refers to humans. But it can be used in other contexts to kind of just talk about something which is human-like, or humanoid. So, for example, it's the same kanji used to describe the beast men, right? They're beast persons, beast people, right? They're like humans, but they're beasts. So, the human bone shard, can technically, or theoretically, if we want to stick with the name and not just say hand wave it as recontextualization in the case of the Beastman skeletons, you could just argue that it's just like, okay, it's on humanoid skeletons, it's not strictly necessarily has to be human. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Citrus. Again, I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. The Farm Azula flowers are around the Stormhawks there, down from Bestial Sanctum and Storm Hill, if you want to check them after this. Stormhawks there, okay. The bears are practically gerbil size to the giants. That's true, Platy. That's why room bears are so big. They all came from Caelid. That's the answer, chat. Room bears, they come from Caelid, because Caelid just makes things big. I don't know why. In Caelid, bigger is better. Well, it's like the Texas of the lands between. What the hell is the point of edible cookie dough, dude? Half the fun is finding out if I'll die or not eating it. That one's good, Nardi. Thank you very much. Fortunately, that's nothing serious. Okay, good, good, good. I'm very happy to hear that. But I'm glad. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, because I know someone asked about the Beastmen. I don't know if that's the same idea you had in your mind, but yeah. Yeah, the kanji being used, though, is hito, which normally means yeah, like human in, like, casual conversation. But technically, it can apply to anything humanoid or person-like. Like, say, with the Beastmen. Or, yeah. Loki, the graves in Shiofra that belonged to the Ul dynasty use Ghost Flame? That they do. Only red torches. Gotcha, I am. So, we got normal torches here for the Ul stuff. Alright, let's check the Farmazula thing that Xavier mentioned. You said it was by... You said it was by the Stormhawks on Farmazula? Gotcha. Confirmed, Caled is Texas. Bigger is better, the Caled trademark. Even Radon is bigger. Oh my god, you're right! That's why Radon got so big! It's not because he, like, beefed himself up, trying to get super strong like Godfrey. It's because he went to Caled. God, man. Caled. They have all the best steroids. Yep, okay, just normal. Just wanted to double check. I think it's around here. The rune bears in Stonefield are white fur and no rune, if I recall correctly. That one had gray fur and black rune, I think. I can compare it later. Yeah, let's do so, because that is interesting. Whether or not it's unique or almost unique, it is still very notable. Like, it could just be an old rune bear. Like, that's a very old rune bear, and it's been, like, stuck up there for a little while, maybe? I don't know, maybe? That's the only other thing I could think of. I think that they should be fine. Yeah. It's the same gray flowers we saw last time, right, Xavier? So they should stand out among all the... Oh, wait, is this it? Is this them? Not really a good example, though. We are getting some recolored red ones, though, which makes sense, because, you know, red lightning everywhere. Can we get this stuff in sunlight, please? Oh, you're gonna be like that, aren't you, Mr. Dragon? Pardon me. Excusez-moi? Oh, that's not gonna give me a good one. Thank you. Kind of orangey, if you ask me. I get, or maybe gold. I guess these kind of look yellowish. These look like they're a bit more pinkish than the red flowers we've seen in other places that have recolored like this. It's the specific color combination of flowers. Gosh. You got red and gray that are unique here. Oh, look, yeah, you see these here too. 1 second. Let's kill these guys before they get in our way. I'm hoping I'm safe here. Oh. So you got like a pinkish red flower mixed with like an orangey gold flower. I guess again makes sense because the whole primordial power of gold that's being employed here. Pink and orange. Pink flowers like Melena's hair. Melena confirmed Glowmite Queen. Now, the confirmation that Melena's the Glowmite Queen is the Chaos ending when she opens her eye. For those that don't know, if you actually Google the dust color in Japanese, what's going to pop up are images of Melena with her eye open and pictures of a night sky that's colored purple. So yeah. Melena's Glowmite. Let's go here. Let's go back to safety. Glowmite Queen isn't real. She can't hurt you. Glowmite Queen. Alrighty. So, Deepwell, Nox. Not Deepwell, regular. I don't think, Deepwell here, nothing, if I recall. Well here, regular. That's it as far as wells are concerned, right? Yeah. There may have been a well here, but, well, it's been lost with the front half of the city. That's another thing. The Karian Queen and Princesses have blue eyes. Yeah, that is a bit odd, considering everyone else has consistently gold eyes. It makes you think that the influence of the moons... Well, we only have the one Karian Princess to compare, right? We don't have... yeah, sorry, you only said Karian Princess, not Princess, sorry. Yeah, so both Ronnie and Renala have their moon going for them, so that might affect it. They're not under the influence of the gold of order like everyone else. They're under the influence of the fate of the moon. Just kill the dragon. If I recall correctly, that one doesn't respawn. I will, Platty, but that'll be for the official Let's Play. This is just a casual stream, so I don't want to affect anything that'll affect my Let's Play going through here significantly. Believe me, I'm ready to go Commodore that thing. Or thoroughly document the dragon's anatomy, then kill it. Ah, I see. Oh, fun fact, snow particles is just small, fast-moving leaves. Oh, leave it to FromSoft. Anyway, yeah, let's double check something with, because Adolphus asked this about the trees. There we go. We do have the, conifers here, chat, but they're gold. It just had to... Oh, well, it just had to rain, didn't it, chat? Gosh, the Loki stream is strong with this one. How many more falls can I do in a single stream, chat? Let's find out! The children around Renala have gold and blue eyes, right? Radon has gold eyes. I think Rykard has gold eyes? Yeah, Rykard has gold eyes. So yeah, I think it's just Ronnie and Renala herself, and both of them are chosen by a moon. When Let's Play. I don't know, John. It has to be like when I feel like it, because I want to keep the meme alive and not finish the game until we beat the DLC and everything when it comes out. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like Millennia runs, see how much I can bash my head against the wall before I just give up in frustration. Now, let me fix my problem here. Phone, I don't need you going off right now. Missed. Can you please go away? Alright, chat. Time to just camp out for an entire 24 hours. No biggie. So in several months. The Loki suicide is getting its trademark. Why is it still... Why is it Misty? Lord have mercy on my soul. What did I do to deserve this? Go away! Leave! Go! Bad! Does Consecrated Snowfield have conifers, Loki? I don't know. Go away! Why are you covered in mist? Fine, you win. Ah, no, that's then we have to climb up. Where else can we go? Here. Sated Hero's Grave. Come on. Oh, that's the actually wrong one. This one's better. It's still raining here. Gosh. Can you please? For all that is holy. Nope, no luck, huh? The fog is Loki-phobic. Hoist by my own petard. Would Ronnie's eyes count since it's a doll body, not her actual body? Yeah, it's true. That could be an exception. Yeah. It could just be, oh, it's her. She has a doll body, so you're not going to see it with her. I think the fact that it's only her, like, the only other option would be that she's basing it off her tutor, which is still kind of odd, because her tutor would also, have been chosen by the Dark Moon, right? Because if I recall correctly, her tutor was all about the arcane, occult, and coldness that was the Dark Moon, so... Finally! Gold conifers, gold conifers, gold conifers, dead conifer. Possibly not gold conifers? But yeah, rest of Altus is just gold conifers. I can't believe this became a tree stream. I was not expecting this when we started. Also, the lightning flowers here have little to no glowing flowers around them, just the harvestable plants. Huh. Interesting. Oh my god. Why? Well, okay, I get the fog here, because this is whenever you come here, but... Okay, how about here? Yes, her tutor was a witch who used cold glintstone sorceries and taught her fear of the cold dark moon. Yeah, okay, so she was also a dark moon sorceress then. She was also chosen by the dark moon. Yeah, so whether it's whether the doll body reflects Ronnie herself or her tutor, strictly, it would still be sort of giving the idea that the moon takes away the gold that is so common to everyone in the lands between. No, these all look gold too. I think it might just be based on distance then. Maybe long distance models. Yeah, this one's kind of a dead-ish tree though. Yeah, it's just a dead tree. Yeah, okay. So it looks like the low distance poly models uses either it just doesn't have really good lighting for it, or it's using maybe the no. It's using maybe the low poly models for the other conifers, and that's why it looks kind of greenish. Tree stream, tree stream. Adolphus and I think she, the Snow Witch, might have been Karian as well. You think so, huh? Because she's supposed to be an old hag. So she has to be way older than Renala, at least. But, yeah, that could be possible. The question would be then, Renala takes so long to find her full moon when she has a witch who studies Dark Moon? Little weird. Ow. 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 I forgot that that was a mechanic. It's funny how the mechanic I was most excited for became so forgettable, like, instantly. I was like, oh, that's neat. Basically lost value. Like, 1/3 into the playthrough. And trees there are just dead. What a shocker. Ow! Sir. Sir. No. And now Snowfield. A lot of people assume that the reason for Ronnie's doll having 4 arms means Rena would have had 4 arms in real life. That isn't the case at all, and it makes my blood pressure rise. Yeah, it's true. It could just be because that's how the marionettes are made. Another possibility I've considered is that the snow crone is the same race as the as whatever the bell ringers are. Bell ringing revenants? I can't remember what their official names are. No, Snowfield has lots of stuff blocking line of sight. So. Low looking windows. The Commodore mechanic. True. I discovered Commodore and I forgot everything else that FromSoftware games have. Why does it exist? Just gonna ignore the snipers. Red flowers. These are the conifers, huh? So at least the spirit trees are conifers, I think. But I don't think any of the living trees left are. I think the same is true in the mountaintops, right? It's these same type of trees. Oh, well. Didn't realize I never looted that. Wraith Callers. Okay, that's what the official English is. I gotcha. I forget. These are rhymed? Yeah, rhymed crystal buds. The crystal, again, is always interesting. Because it implies either the ice itself or the water that's been frozen by the ice has the power of the stars with the crystals. Yeah, these are all the same trees we see elsewhere in Shifra. Nothing new. Yes, none of the living trees are here. Chances are that she could have been a family member. I'll explain the reasoning in the Discord, sure. Also, Xavier, I need to see the thing you mentioned yesterday that you talked about on the Discord on the Crucible night. I'll have to go check that. Yeah, there's a lot of patterns here, but I don't fully understand the meaning. I see the pattern, I just don't quite understand the reasoning. If it's coincidental or something else. I mean, coincidental in terms of just, like, there isn't, like, a deeper cosmological reason for having these kinds of trees growing here. Like, oh, sorcery grows green fern, magic power in the air causes green conifers to grow or some shit. Well, it's very consistent. Demi-human forest ruins, Celia, Caelid in general, West and North Liurnia, on land specifically, and the mountaintops, which again, you know what? That makes sense, because stargazers, astrologers, so lots of sorcery stuff here. Also, funny enough, you can't see the dark moon on Moonlight Altar as well as you can in the mountaintops. Is it the dark moon in the mountaintops? I thought it was the full moon that Renala saw. Want me to apply myself to make it easier or something? Yeah, that could help. You could also just give me, like, the key phrase I can search. Just tag me in the Discord with it. Rhyme Droa. Again, signs of Banished Knight conflict here. Probably going back to Godfrey first invading. What if the conifers originate from the mountaintops, chat? Like, what if the conifers were originally from the highlands? And it became kind of like this cultural plant or tree that astrologers loved. Die. There we go. So you had all these trees here, and they just grew naturally here. Let's say the same is true for Altus, because it's also the highlands, right? So the highlands grew conifers. I don't know if they originated on the mountaintops and then they spread to Altus or what. Oh my god. Can you stop? I'm trying to have a moment here. You absolute shit. You're not being invited to my birthday party. There we go. Okay, so the conifers exist on the highlands up north, right? So the northern highlands all have conifers. The astrologers take their conifers with them as they migrate all the way down to Liurnia. Now, they don't seem to grow here. Maybe they did grow here once upon a time, but now that the lake spread pretty damn far from everything, they probably don't anymore. Sad face. Anyway. So they only end up surviving where the sorcerers have settled here, the Carians, up west, which the Carians control, up north, again, major area of Liurnia to be controlled, and all the way down to about here-ish, right? So these areas that are firmly controlled, right, by the sorcerers are all growing the conifers. The conifers spread. For whatever reason, they haven't gone south here in terms of natural spreading. Haven't gone south of into the eastern tableland. Actually, I'm kind of curious if they're in Jarburg. And then some got brought over to Caelid and Celia, where they grew when they were setting up Celia and all the various other villages and stuff there. And finally, one other sorcerer settlement came here and spread them there, and one tree ended up here for one reason. It could just be that, you know, like the seed got carried over across the land because it's a small gap. That's believable. Ah! Conifers! Yeah, okay, chat, this is way too consistent. This is way too consistent. So they're not anywhere south of here except Jarburg. What a coinky-dink. Well, do we have evidence of sorcerers on the plateau? Nothing beyond this Mirage Tower, which seems to just tell us that there's a sorcerer who settled in and was studying the gold of the plateau. We can't really date this sorcerer to anywhere earlier. and we don't have any. We have evidence of conjury sorceries. Conjury ceremonies. So there's a bunch of pagans who are doing like old like proto. I guess we'll call it proto sorcery, right? Because the term for conjury is jujutsu, the same as pyromancy in Dark Souls, right? So this idea of a very primitive magic, stuff used by tribes and those types of things, right? Not civilized like our academic sorcery. So, you have the snake pagans who are doing their conjury ceremonies. You have all the barbarians across the plateau, but not a lot of signs that they do sorcery. We know, the Sun Capital did sorcery, but they did gravity sorcery specifically. They, when they were interested in gravity arts. And we know that because of Ensha as a gravity sorcerer. Ironic, they're found near Karian locations. Oh, wowee. Yeah, I think it's because of the Stargazers. So I think when the Lascar first came down and migrated and settled down here. Ooh, did you hear that, chat? There's a storm a-brewing outside, it seems. It's thundering. Anyway, the Lascar came down here, they brought the conifers. When the Karians came down here, they brought the conifers. Jarburg is here, right next to the Karian study hall, right? So, again, you have a sorcerer settlement that seemed to do, like, alchemy shit, right? With all the plants they're growing and crap. And the jars, obviously, they have going here. You have, again, this academy stuff where Celia and all the different magics between gravity magics and falling star magics and blah, 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 meteors and crap. Like, all of that stuff also has conifers here. Also spread down here to the Shifa River, and finally, here in the Demi-Human Forest Ruins. So I think we cracked it. They're called hexes in the English, so I guess we can call them that. Actually, let me double check if hexes are the same thing. I don't remember. Let me double check. Hexes in Dark Souls 2 were dark arts, but I don't remember what hex would be here. Rancor Pot. Yeah, it's Jujutsu. Yeah, so Conjury, yeah. Yeah, so like, Old Death Jujutsu, yeah. Conjury. Yeah, so they call it Ancient Death Hex. Yeah, Furishi no Jujutsu, yeah, okay. Anything else for Hex? Magma Shot, yeah, they're called a Hex, so yeah, same thing. Rolling Magma, Hex, yep, same thing. Ancient Death Rancor, same thing. Talismans. No. Nothing for talismans. Armor. Nothing for armor. Weapons. I think there might be some stuff for weapons, right? Yeah, one thing. Staff of the Guilty. Yeah, Jujutsu, same here. So yeah, the localization is using the term hex for Jujutsu. So just think, same thing as pyromancy. The idea of having a primitive type of magic that's being used. It's not as sophisticated as sorcery. Loki huffing the astrologer lore and regretting his decision to start with Godfrey. Well, what does Jar have to do with it? Well, that explains that, yeah. Jarburg is very clearly a place where, like, they're growing plants. They have all these, you know, meat in jars and stuff. It's clear they were doing some kind of, like, alchemical research, probably in supporting of the study hall. We also have to keep in mind, the study hall was being used by, Radigan to help with Marika's minor Erdtree / Golden Order research, right? Because we find the Cerulean Seed Talisman and a Holy Proof dried liver in this area. So we do know the idea, and there's, of course, the mask. We get the Mask of Confidence here, right? So this is the mask that reminds you, oh, hey, Radigan wants you to keep the affairs between the royal couple, Renala and himself, secret. And obviously that's plus, we can see how Miriam is continuing to protect those secrets to this day. Which I just realized, you kill her twice. Like, it's not like she's a spirit form the first time or whatever. Like, you find her alive in both versions, and I'm just like, wait, what? Wait a second. Alright, so we have the graves here, which I presume are for all the people who became jars. Anything else? I edited the original message with an app for you, thank you. Jujitsu? No, not Jujitsu, Jujutsu. Very different. What are we talking about? Hey, we're talking about conifers. We're talking about conifers and magic and sorcery and all that. I meant the magma stuff, but yeah, that too. Yeah. It's all the hexes. Anything else I'm missing? No, gotcha. Okay, anything else I really want to check? Okay, LOLiurnian War. Anything I should be aware of? Okay, so Renala and Radigan plan to probably go through the Eastern LOLiurnian. Okay, so second LOLiurnian War. I'm gonna put up the draft soon, so you guys can read up on the first LOLiurnian War very shortly. I'm already starting on the second one right now, and oh boy, its stuff's been long. So my current thought process is that Marika and Radigan realized their shortcomings in the last war, and one of them was that they didn't have a proper base to fall back on. So they set up the village here. They set up walls to protect the village because they're going to war, duh. They set up a fort here, which has been reduced to just this tower with some remnants of the walls, right? We also know this has nothing to do with the Banished Knights, because not only are these towers, like, they don't have the typical, they don't have the, like, Norman style we see with Banished Knight facilities, or built, I should say Banished Knight built, I'll just say BK built fortifications. But this one here doesn't have any of the BK's equipment and stuff like we see in all the other towers, so they never use this. So this was a tower that was purely built as part of a larger fortification, as we can see, in order to overlook and defend against people who would come up from the Bellum Highway in order to attack this village, right? And right here at the entrance of Dectus. They don't care about Dectus itself because they can't get up to Dectus if they invade anyway, because they need, obviously, the key. So they come over here to invade, most likely. But when Marika and Radigan were setting all this up, they were planning to essentially sneak through the eastern tableland, probably make a detour through the eastern LOLiurnian Lakeshore, make a strike on Gate Town, and create a foothold in Gate Town, which they can then attack the Academy by surprise. Because the straightforward method, they took down the Bellum Highway and did disastrously. See these two graveyards. Obviously, this is where the monument and the church for Radigan's heroisms were set up. However, apparently, they got Academy caught wind of what they were doing, and it sent Renala and her forces to intercept. They clashed here on the eastern tableland. As a result, the frenzied, as a result of this, Radigan's advance was halted, but at the same time, this tower seems to have been laid to waste, and we have all these graves in this gorge here. And these aren't just graves for the mausoleum compound here, because we get, like, the Twin Sage Sorcerer stuff, and I think there's another item related to sorcery. I can't remember. I think it's... I think it's the Sorcerer's the Sorcery Dried Liver, or Magic Dried Liver, or whatever it's called. But it's something that we otherwise only get in the Carian Manor, and, at least as far as I'm aware, Carian Manor and Rea Lucaria proper. So it's like, okay, there's sorcerers buried here. Which might explain all the spirits, if these are all women, could be all witches. But yeah. And then, yeah, there's our boy guarding the entrance. Because the catacomb was probably also used to bury the... what are they called? Bury the bodies of those who became the heads for the Wandering Mausoleums here. I think it's up here specifically. Yeah, Mausoleum Compound. So this big graveyard seems to have been a huge battle that was happening over here between this tower and this village. Meanwhile, Radigan was being halted here by Renala and her stuff. So basically, Erdtree Kingdom was caught in a two-pronged assault. Which makes the fact that Radigan, very conveniently, confronts Renala, who you would presume he'd already had met on the battlefield during the first LOLiurnian War. Just saying. Two people leading armies somehow don't meet the first time they clash. Okay, sure. But they meet the second time for sure. And suddenly, Radigan's coming back to Marika being like, hey, going back to America after they've been stopped here, they suddenly decide, hey, let's sue for peace. I regret ever attacking you. I promise I love you. Let's get married. Only for him to, in the end, as we know, basically just leave, whereas Renala is the one who seems to have been truly the one in love, and that she's completely heartbroken over the incident. So yeah, call me cynical, but I somehow doubt that Radigan was being sincere when he was saying that he was pledging his love to Renala. Though I think it honestly did become sincere by the end of it, at least to some extent, because, you know, giving the egg and all that stuff. I think that was kind of showing character development. But yeah, at the start here, I don't know. I don't buy it. I think Marika, who again we know was present because of her church here, having her shrine, so she definitely had a presence here. Again, they could have done a Radigan shrine like here, to showcase like, oh no, he did like probably a big speech or something here, or this was his major base or camp. No, they specifically chose to have Marika's thing here. So I think Marika, like, I think Radigan saw that Marika was infatuated, or was obviously infatuated with him, and by extension Marika knew this, and then that's where she kind of hacked this scheme of, oh, I can get out of this terrible situation I've got myself caught in, where I'm literally, trapped on both sides, and be able to advance my plans to get access to those wonderful, wonderful sorcery tomes in Caria. How to Get Married by Radigan. Find a girl who looks easy, immediately claim that you're sorry for all the bad things you did to her, and want to marry her. Because girls love a bad boy. Do you check the other place the Farm Azula flowers show up? I personally only recall you checking the city itself. Where else do they show up, Xavier? Do they show up in the gardens? Like, could I find them... Was it here? I think it was here. The car and study hall use regular flame too. Lame ass Radigan. Sorry, I fell asleep like a lizard. No problem. It's okay. You can sleep, I am. You deserve it. It's late. For you, at least. No, not here. Maybe in the city. Storm Hill and down Bestial Saint. Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were talking about, like, Farm Azula. Oh, okay, so you mean, let's go to Bestial Sanctum first. Anyway, so that's my current thoughts on the second LOLiurnian War. Honestly, I would say very clever on Marika's part. She knew... She may suck as a military strategist, but she's still Marika. She's quite the mischievous little prankster. She decided that she would go into... What's it called? So we have the orangey flowers, right, that we see in Farm Azula. I don't think we see the pinkish ones, though, here. At least, not yet. And then Storm Hill. Okay, yeah, so you go far out from the sanctum and the flowers disappear. Alright, let's go to Storm Hill. War Master's Shack should do it, right, Xavier? The pinker there, you're just blind, darn. Sucks to be blind, man. Feels blind, man. I think we already found our flowers. Oh, I see them. Yeah, okay, I see these here. Yeah, the orange and, like, the pinkish. Okay. Storm Hill Shack. So War Master Shack has, Oh, they're here as well? Yep. Yep, seems like it. I don't see him here at Storm Hill Shack, Xavier. Did you get them mixed up with War Masters by accident? Did pick the I picked the right one. See white flowers. Oh, maybe here? Yep, these are it. Go down the hill from here. Gotcha. So they're here. They're here. They're here. I like how the landing spot for the wolf was there, so the game pushed me out of the way, so it wouldn't land on me. Where do you jump down from? The bridge? Better landing streak than Alexander. About to say Xavier. Sorry, Xavier. I almost mixed you up with a pot. Yeah, these are just red flowers, but they have the pink ones, but not the orange. Yeah, they're around the general area. That's why I said Storm Hill in general. Yeah, so they're by War Master Shack included, so yeah, it's just Storm Hill overall. Yeah, look, now we have the orange flowers. Alright, so this makes sense, because this is the origin place of the... I guess we can open these finally. Again, I'm never doing anything with these stupid arenas, but... Oh no, it's America. Whatever will I do? Yes, I'm aware. Really? Nothing else? Not gonna let me go? Let me in! Let me in! Look at all those lions. Oh. Excuse me. There we go. Up. Hello? Okay. Listen, let me get on the bench. Okay, now let me get on the pyre. There we go. The brazier. Now we got, like, stereotypical gladiator relief. That's interesting. No fires are lit here. Are there fires lit in the other ones? I mean, granted, that's probably because the idea of, oh, it's Storm Hill, so there's lots of wind and stuff that would blow the flames out. I can imagine that might be the idea. Or because air can increase flames, they're like, oh, this could get out of control quickly, so let's not do that. I don't know, either or I could accept. Yeah, more of them here. Yeah, okay, yep. I think that pretty much settles it, Xavier. Yeah, so Farm Azula has this special, like, red, pinkish, orangey, yellow, flower combination, right? Which makes sense, because these lands were once connected. And then, oh, Elden Ring crashed! Well, whoops. That's just how it be. The other two have gold and bright red flames. Makes sense. Kaled and Lanedell, right? Try a match. New. Never. I will never do this stupid PvP arena thing. Let me into the actual area, FromSoft. All right, let's get back. I want to check a few more things before we head off. GG. Good game. Man, I lost the duel before it even began. This is why we don't do arena chat. Clearly, I'm just suck at PvP. Oh no, phone's going off. What did I do? Nothing. At least I'm not getting spam calls today. All right. Let's continue. God, that lag. High Road, Saints Bridge. I want to check by Saints Bridge. Hello? Thank you. They also have unique music in the arenas. That's cool. I'll actually listen to the OST because I haven't listened to the Elden Ring OST in a while anyway. What do you know? At the Grace, instantly find the flowers. Actually, no, these are different flower combinations, right? Right? Yeah, these are the pink and red combination. These aren't the orange and pinky. Okay. So I think we could say, like, at the height of Storm Hill. It's like, at the highest elevations of Storm Hill is where these flowers are from Far Missoula. Which makes sense, because the idea is that the Stormhawks either come from Far Missoula or have such a close relationship with Far Missoula that the flowers are spreading that way. Again, my theory is that dragons are the source of basically all life. So therefore, presumably the Stormhawks are probably one of the not so distant descendants of the dragons. Let's see, if my theory is correct, we might find some of these flowers here. Thank you. Yeah, those flowers are weird. These are different too, right? Yeah, these are the red and pink, okay. So red and pink happen as we leave this area. We lose the orange. We got demi-humans. Alright, let's check some in water now. Do we find any of these flowers here? I'm gonna assume no. Man, I would love to have an Elden Ringologist who, an ERologist, I guess, who was, whose whole thing is just, documenting where all the different plants are found. Imagine having someone we can go to that could just be like, yeah, don't worry, this past year, since Elden Ring's released, I've looked at every single type of flower and plant, and I'm both identifying the plants and telling you exactly, and pinpointing exactly where they are on the map. That would be cool. But we don't have that in the FromSoft community, so that's fine. Xavier does good enough. I think these flowers are in Summon Water Village, like in the water and down the river near the church. Gotcha. Loki's an ERologist. No, but I mean, like, just, like, people who, like, because of how big Elden Ring is, I think it actually behooves the community to have, like, specialists in specific fields, like, right? Like, for example, TA seems to have a good grasp on history, even if I did generally think that all of his conclusions derived from that history are all bunk. Or, well, I should say half of them are bunk. Same thing with, like, say, the Lore Hunter. Lore Hunter, I've seen, does some really good stuff on architecture and stuff like that. And I've always gone to him when it comes to the architecture things. I would love maybe if we could have someone who could do that for plants, maybe someone who could do that for some of the animals in the bestiary, like, right? Like, have people who, like, have their own little, like, subdivisions. Like, how you don't, like, not everybody who's a chemist is just a chemist. They may study or, like, sort of focus in on, like, a very specific expertise in the field of chemistry, right? And, like, they just know that area of chemistry good. Like, maybe they have good general knowledge or whatever. Maybe that stuff is decent, but, like, that's the thing that that's their thing. They know it. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. Elden Ring's so big that it could honestly be that kind of field of research if you wanted. Ow. Come on. Ow. Oh my god, it's too fast even for this. I like how the one who I wasn't even aiming for got hit. Alright, perfect. Yeah, those are the same flowers. What about near the turtles? Not seeing it. Oh no, it's mosquitoes! Gosh darn it! I ain't in the bayou, why are you here? Damn mosquitoes! Damn zinzares! Yep, nope, still just pink and red. Okay, yeah. I've seen enough here. What were the ones in front of Castle Mort again? Like I said, they're also in the river as well. I believe you, Xavier. We're gonna leave that one at that. Okay. This one might be a little harder for my blind ass, but... These are just red flowers? Yeah, these are just recolored red ones that we see elsewhere. I wonder where we find these. Spray some raid. Alright, get out the raid. There we go. I think they die from the poisonous gas. Oh, we have the Kalu Baptismal Church. Were the red flowers here in the Tombs Ward fields? Can we commit mosquito genocide, please, Loki? Yes, we can. You have my approval. We can genocide all the mosquitoes. They don't deserve to exist. Okay, yeah, there's yellow flowers here. I'm still trying to work out, chat, exactly my thoughts on the Witchbane ruins and the Tombs Ward ruins. Because the Witchbane ruins, I have a general idea. Also, speaking of general ideas, good idea would be to get rid of you. There we go. I can't believe I missed all 4 of them. I'm so bad. There we go. Because neither the Tombs Ward or the Witchbane ruins have the dirt roads leading to them. The dirt road only connects the church, obviously with the, the Church of Pilgrimage with the Minor Erd Tree, with obviously the path back to the highway, and with the shack. And of course with the Fourth Church of America. So all of these have dirt roads to them. The Witchbane ruins and the Tombs Ward ruins do not. The the Witchbane ruins also are clearly were used for some kind of burial. We can see this from all the coffins that are still here, much like what we saw at the Gatefront ruins, which told us how procession of hero burial went from Stormvale to here. They would prepare the bodies down here. They would send the bodies here. They'd get consecrated at the Church of Ella, and then finally they would be buried in the Fringe Folk hero's grave. So something with burial was happening here too, of some kind. And we know from the Tombs Ward ruins here that something involving angels with a scythe was happening here. So my thought is, and this ties into someone's earlier questions about how I think it was Platy, about how the idea of what I think is going to happen with the DLC. I think the DLC is going to pull a Ring City and introduce angels. I think an angel enemy is going to be in the DLC. I think it's going to be tied to Mikola. and deal with Miquella's dreams and stuff like that, and that it's and that the angels were used as part of Miquella's research into trying to solve the soulless god question. And so, when these mausoleums were being invented and created, I believe this was ground zero for their invention. I think the Witchbane ruins and the Tombsward ruins were created separately. Maybe the Witchbane ruins was for building the actual mausoleum, hence all the grave stuff and things like that. And the Witchbane ruins was for the guardians that would supply the heads and the bodies of protection. Maybe. That might have been the idea. And so it was like, okay, we're beheading with the angel site here. And this was also explained why there's pages in the downstairs guarding it or whatever, because, like, okay, these noble knights and things like that, their pages are left behind to guard the ruins even after they fall into disarray, even though it's, like, you know, it's all done, like, all their masters have been killed and turned into these soldiers guarding the mausoleum or whatever, right? And the Witchbane ruins, same thing, like, it basically falls into ruin, because, again, Miquella completed the experiment, created a wandering mausoleum, at which point the method was then replicated elsewhere in the lands between, where relevant, so like Liurnia, Altus, actually no, not Altus, up here with the mountaintops, so all that. Oh, fun fact, that site generates white feathers when using the Ash of War. Yep, I've seen that. I'm still setting Najka 2.0 with a Rock God Scorpion boss. I would love that. I would love if they'd let us fight some of the old Outer Gods in the DLC, even if they're like mini bosses or some shit. It'd be cool to see, like, a dream version of the Rock boss. Again, I don't know if that makes sense in the lore or anything like that, if it's possible, but I would love it if it is possible if they do that. I guess we'll see. Red, like the battlefields I mentioned, them being here and before the gate where you get the horse, make me doubt the connection. Again, the problem I feel is, like, when it comes to battlefields and stuff, the idea is that blood roses should be growing more often. But we don't see blood roses consistently in areas where battles seem to have taken place. I don't know if that's just because the game doesn't want blood roses to be too common, or what. Like, I know there's blood roses here, on some of the graveyards here, so should I take it that there was an especially bloody battle here? Like, I don't know. I have to think that through. But yeah, with red flowers in general. Why are they growing? Yeah. Okay, so look in here. So then no dirt roads were built, I assume because it was not expected that these would exist long enough that you would need a dirt road. Especially when they're so, like, close off the beaten path from existing places with the roads, right? So that's my assumption. Demi-Human Forest ruins also don't seem to have a dirt road connecting them. But again, that's probably because the main path was not the ruins. They would just be like, okay, the sorcerers can do their own thing in this corner of the forest, right? We don't care. Our focus is of the Church of Pilgrimage and stuff. Because as we established, thanks to Xavier pointing out this very good detail, we have the Bellum Church, where Radigan first distinguished himself in the timeline. And then you travel down, go down here, go down here, go down here, go down here, take a detour up here, go across the suspension bridge, and voila, you've now ended your pilgrimage at the church where Radigan was last done before he became, where Radigan last was before he became Elden Lord back in the capital. Again, I think I've talked about this before, but I believe there was a incident here where one of the Tarnish, the ancient warrior of Zamor in this case, was essentially said, nah, I'm not leaving. I don't want to leave my home for basically permanently all the way up here out in some foreign land I've never been to before just because you told me to, Queenie. I was here to fight with Godfrey out of gratitude for what he did for my homeland, not to be put on this tarnished mandate that you've got for us, right? So he's the one who leaves the anchor behind and stuff that we find at the Morn Tunnel and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I won't. And he probably, like, tried to, you know, fight back against Marika or resist and stuff like that, right? And then Radigan comes in and gives him a scar seal. Like, he's like, okay, I'm cursing your eyes, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets locked in the Ever Jail. And that seems to be the big incident that got Radigan recognized here, I think. It also might have been the soft justification for Radigan and Marika marrying. Like, it's like, oh my god, cousin, you have swooned me. Marika putting on her best acting skills. Oh, my cousin, it is so great to see you. I'm so happy that you saved me. I would have been totally not fine if you hadn't come in at just the nick of time. Thank you so much. Now, let me marry you. I just so happen to need a husband. I'm not sure if that justification was really needed. I mean, she is the queen. If she wants to do it, she wants to do it. But I wouldn't imagine if that was at least, like, the presentation they're doing to kind of make it, like, somewhat plausible why America just kind of dumps Godfrey and jumps to a new guy so quickly. Yeah, that's the church the wiki doesn't mention as having golden centipedes, even though it has two golden centipedes. Yeah, that's quite frustrating. Speaking of golden centipedes, I want to just double check. I can't remember if the golden centipedes are at this church proper or just the guardians who have them. Mikola made the wandering mausoleums. Yes, that is my assertion. I think the fact that we see Mikola... I think it's at the hero's grave in Orisa. I think the fact that we have Mikola making a sword for his quote-unquote brother, trying to find a way to solve the soulless god problem for him. The fact that Ronnie has a spirit caller bell that's quite possibly from Mikola, from like earlier research Mikola's done. Again, this ties into the implications about Mikola, the spirit world dreams, and being the source of both Torrent and Millennia's mission and stuff. Yeah, I think the DLC is going to show us that Mikola's been having a heavier hand in our journey than we initially thought. At the very least, got Melina, essentially became the catalyst for Melina becoming so deeply involved in our journey. But anyway, back to my point. Yeah, so we have, Mikola doing that with there, and then at Castle Sol, there's the other Wandering Mausoleum and the whole thing about, oh, your comrade and the eclipse and all that. And I know there's been a debate about whether the Wandering Mausoleum is depicting the eclipse with that dark circle thing on the side of the building or what have you. The mausoleum itself. But whether or not that's supposed to be the eclipse. I think that the general idea is definitely, oh, okay, the shields on the knights for the headless people have the eclipse on them. They have wings, which again, wings like winged hussars, like the, I know some people have connected to deathbirds, but I think it connects to the angels. And so you have this idea of like these knights who sort of look like, who kind of make themselves resemble angels. Keep in mind, last time we saw winged hussar type armor enemies, it was in Dark Souls 3 with the winged knights serving the angelic faith. So again, it would definitely be very Miyazaki, right, to have that sort of meta reference there, to kind of have that same idea brought back. I'm not seeing these centipedes. So, maybe you can only loot them from this guy. Come on, drop them. I figured at nighttime they would glow, so it'd be more obvious. So I guess they're just not here. They're just from the enemies. Oh, the centipedes are around the big golden tree in the church. Okay, so they're just around the tree itself. Do they respawn? I'm assuming not, because I don't see them here. So it may be that I already looted them all in a past stream. Yeah, I guess I have. Okay. Yeah, I picked them up probably. Gotcha. Thank you. Yes, his butterflies are the ones that trick you to walk off the cliff in the beginning. Mikola, like, yes, yes. You have defeated the first challenge. This has worked out so well. Now, walk off over to this cliff. Come closer. Yes, closer. Psych! Nicola be trolling. Okay. Golden centipedes here, there, and there. There's another area I want to check out with golden centipedes. Where is it? Where's the Grand Cloister? Because I noticed there's a lightning-proof liver down here, which is really odd, because, again, there's Dragonkin soldiers, but those should have ice lightning, not true lightning. So it's weird that a regular lightning liver would be here. And I think there's a golden centipede around here, too. Or at least there was supposed to be. I probably picked it up as well if they don't respawn. Man, I really wish I could, really wish I used torrent. I think that's I think those are supposed to hint at, when Malay Murray was here. I think the idea is, oh, Malay Murray sent a party here, right? Like, he pulled Earl Arstor and, tried looking into the old ruins here with all the, that's where he got the stinger for the rot ants and stuff, and as we know, the ants have spread across the entire underground from seemingly here, the Lake of Rot, where it originated. Oh, right. I forgot, this is all new. I was not looking. Look at my health bar there. It's just lightning damage resistance. Why is that weird? Because there's nothing really associated with dragons or the royal capital's ancient dragon cult faith down here, right? That's what makes it stand out. So it makes sense when you find lightning-proof dried livers in Langdell, right? Because ancient dragon cult faith is here. So you would have, like, people who might take Fulgur blooms and stuff or create these things to resist them, right? Like, all of that makes sense. It makes sense if you find it, like, I don't know, in, like, the catacombs here or something like that, right? It might even make, I don't think there's any in Stormvale, but it might even make sense if you find them in Stormvale or something like that, right? It doesn't make sense to find them here in the middle of the Lake of Rot. There's nothing lightning related either. It even make, again, same thing with, like, a good better example is like Farum Azula. It makes sense to find them in Farum Azula. It doesn't make sense to find him one in here in the middle of the Lake of Rot. I think it's like somewhere in this part of the lake. Same thing with the golden centipede. Why is a golden centipede something that was a dead centipede, dried, desiccated inside some sort of golden fluid found here? I think it's because it's supposed to hint that a culture people from Langdell post fundamentalism and post ancient dragon cult faith both were present here, and that's the idea that a party from Malay, perhaps Malay Murray himself even joining in, leading the expedition, came down here, and that's where he gets his rod and ant stinger from the Lake of Rot area, because again, this seems to be where the ants evolved. And that's where he got, yep. Perfect. And that's where he, of course, got his study and knowledge about the rock god and things of that sort. Ah, you're still alive. Not anymore. The Erdtree stuff can be justified by just saying Erdtree roots are here, which explains the basilisk, because there'd be possibly Deathblight here, which also explains the ulcerated tree spirit. So all of that makes sense. But it's the thing that's specifically creations of Golden Order fundamentalism that stand out. People getting ready for the journey and dying anyway. I love finding the bleed/frost resistant dappled meat on the way to and in the snow mountain/snowfield. Yeah, for that reason. My favorite thing is in Faron, where you find like all the super heavy weapons and stuff and armor. Like you have the in the middle of the Faron swamp, where obviously if you're way down, you like go and you die of poison, right? So like I just love that idea that a bunch of people came in with like arts and weapons and stuff, like great swords and things of that nature, but they just were too heavy. So they couldn't get through the swamp fast enough, so they just kind of died of like fucking like some disease they caught wading through the waters. Like I just find that hilarious. That was close. Yeah, and then the Erdly flowers could maybe fall downstream as the lake rots, like bringing things over down here. Ayo! Hey, Nobre. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. I'm sorry to say this, Nobre. You came at the worst time, because I think this is where we're going to wrap things up. Is there anything at last minute I want to check, chat? LOLiurnian War-wise? No? I think we've covered all the major points, and I don't think I'm missing anything. We checked out a bunch of the tree stuff, which is very interesting. It's something I'm going to have to note down for the anything I do with astrologers and their history and their culture. Trying to also think. I want to check something right here real quick. The cat ring is found on a corpse where you find the abductor virgin, so they probably fell victim to the same thing we did, thinking the ring gave full immunity to falling. Oh, that's actually really good. That's a really funny little detail. Guy falls down thinking, I'll be safe. Oh, there's a limit. Ends up, well, I mean, it's probably for the best. He otherwise would have suffered the abductor virgin. So, you know, could have been worse. They're purposely directing the water, but they have the throne here. And that's what's weird. Yeah, I'm thinking the... So I think Noxtella was established because the Black Moon was this giant crystal. So just like how they use like it's probably this giant black glintstone that was embedded into the roof of this cavern. And so just like how they use glintstone in order to create a false night sky, they decide to use that black glintstone, which of course when it breaks forms the memory stones we collect, as the moon for that night sky. Hence why it says it was a moon accompanied by like countless innumerable stars, right? Because, you know, those are the stars. And that hole up there is where the moon is. Now, I don't know why exactly the moon broke. Maybe it was part of the ritual that turned all these people into stone. I don't know. That wouldn't explain Nokron, though, so... I would also love if someone who can look into the game files and, like, move, like, character cameras and stuff could actually test to see how the spawning in for the Dragonkin soldier happens. Does it actually happen, like, exactly where that little depression is up there? Is it, like, a little off? Is it like the boss is hanging up there when we first enter the arena? I don't know. Be kind of cool to see. Also, I can't really see this thing, so I'm trying to... That looks like it's possibly about even with where that balcony is. Again, maybe I should start installing Elden Ring free cam for this. This looks like it's about aligned with this balcony here, maybe? If so, then yeah, it would be like in the middle of this. So I think I'm directly under it now. Yeah, and I think they were trying to use the Black Moon as a way to help empower their Night Lord. Maybe the soldier will be at its idle stand, its default position. That's true. That's possible. It could also be T-posing. You never know. You can ask Sekiro Doobie. I think he could find out. Yeah, you know what? I should honestly ask him. I have not asked him for things in... I don't think ever, actually. I think I've only helped him with stuff when he's asked. So yeah, maybe he could do me a solid and check that out for me. I'll ask. I could look into the map data of that part. I mean, that would be helpful if you can, Nobre. Bro, DS2 with Estus heal speed from DS1 and 3 is so good, along with the quick fog wall animation and quicker dodges. Yeah, imagine that! If the less DS2 is like DS2, the better DS2 is. What a shocker. God, what a novel concept. Just make DS2 not DS2, and it's suddenly great. Seriously, DS2 is the game that would benefit the most from a remake. Fix the shitty movement, fix all the dumb mechanical decisions, fix the enemy spam. I know Scholar added more enemy spam, blah, 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 in certain areas. I don't care. Both of them are awful at it. We don't need 3 freaking tanky-ass Iron Keep guys bowing you down in Draying Lake Castle. But yeah, I cannot wait. It spawns in midair, I assume. That's what my assumption is too, but you never know. That's why I want to know the specifics. But that indentation is so specific, it might be something important like you think. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. We have not seen it. I've checked. We cannot find it anywhere else. And it's so relevant. It's ties in so perfectly to Nox Stella's lore that, yeah, I think this is where... Because the localization says it hangs, and the Japanese says the Nox or the Eternal Capital or whatever looked up to it. So we know it's somewhere in the sky. The question is, where? And my answer is, here. This is the most rational place for it to be. It kind of fixed the movement. The guy who made the mod. That's cool to see. Hollows are no longer green. That's an interesting design decision. Probably for the best. I think green hollows were kind of too stereotypical zombie. It's like, God, are we going to a comic from, like, I don't know, the 60s or something? But yeah, kind of cool. Seeing, like, actual, like, dark or normal-skinned hollows probably again. Yeah, I'm thinking. Alright. Anything else? Any last-minute stuff I want to do so? We've actually made a lot of good progress on lore here, chat. Like, going over things, like, I'm going through stuff in my brain. It's coming together now as I'm looking at this stuff again. Looking at these details I keep missing, bouncing these ideas off you. So, yeah, I really appreciate having you guys here. It's really wonderful. Also, Nobre, before I forget, I want to thank you for getting me that Demon Souls picture for me. I really appreciate having that design in detail. It was actually not for me, it was for someone else. I can't tell you why, but I'll just say that your what you gave was well appreciated. So thank you. Yeah, he also edited Vendrick. He now has a proper beard and is pale as hell. Pale Vendrick as a hollow, that's interesting to think about. Yeah, as long as he still looks like a rotting corpse, right? Like, hollows are still supposed to be hollows, right? They're not just supposed to just be, like, people with, like, anorexia. What about for height? I'm actually kind of curious. I'm happy I found another example of those flowers near the Snowfield Church around those graves. Now I need more examples of the gray and big red flowers. Yeah, the more we find data of that stuff, if it exists out there, the better, because it helps complete our idea on trying to connect different areas and try to fit. Like I said, that stuff with the conifers was amazing. That it all fell into place once we started confirming all the data where they were everywhere. Because then we can be like, okay, how does this connect to this? Okay, they can kind of maybe brought him here. It seems like they brought him here because there's an association there. Okay, do so. It's like, okay, it all goes back to the mountaintops where the astrologers originally were. And that works perfectly. Yeah, I'm not saying anything special here. Yeah, just generic flowers we see elsewhere on this land. All of us have black eyes like their DS1 counterpart. That's going to be interesting. Put Pale Vendrick in FromSoftware. I'll check that out then. Again, thanks so much, guys. I think we're going to close it here. I can't think of anything else I really want to do. I'm really happy with what we found here. This past week with Elden Ring lore has been really great. Really, really great. Yeah, so we're gonna end these here. Thanks, guys. Bye.